Hey everyone! Thanks so much
Hey,
for taking the time to chat with us on the Geekcentric podcast. How y'all doing?
good.
Good.
Good
How
to
are
see
you?
you guys, Justin and Nate. Good to be here.
Happy to have you. We're so stoked to talk to all of you. This show, you've all done such an incredible job with this show. Vince, to kind of kick things off, we love how you've mastered crafting characters like Walter White and Carol Sturka that keep the audiences, us included, in a state of mixed feelings episode to episode. What is the key to balancing a character's both agreeable and disagreeable qualities without losing your audience?
Well, first order of business is having great actors and great writers, and then all of us just putting our heads together for months and months on end. And I think another key to it is not spending too much time worrying about how likable or unlikable a character is. Just letting the character seem real, creating characters that are as real as possible. And again, the actors are a big part of making that happen. And then letting the chips fall where they may, letting the plot take us where it takes us, having the characters remaining true to the characters, and then it's up to the audience whether they like the characters or not. But we try not to spend too much. Would you
Yeah,
say?
I would say we even more. It's a question of like, is the character interesting?
Yeah,
Is
that's
what
what's
they're gonna
important.
do interesting?
Yeah,
That seems to carry further than just, oh, do I like them or do I not like them? Because hopefully
yeah,
that changes through the show and that changes as you're watching them.
yeah. Allison, yeah, you don't worry about that, do you? When you we don't really, yeah, when happy, likable or not.
No, we don't worry about it. And I was just thinking that in the case of Walter White and Carol and also Jimmy McGill, we start with characters that you created, co-created and created, who have a lot of internal conflict already to begin with, which is what makes them meaty and interesting to kick off. Like they're already in a state of sort of dissonance within themselves, and then throw them into crazy variety of circumstances. How do they respond? And it's not going to be smooth, and that's what's fun about it. And
Yeah,
they are going to struggle, and that's what's great about it. And especially to be able to write a female lead who has just as much inner turmoil and just as much displeasure in responding to hard things that are happening around her is incredibly gratifying. So I'm grateful for
Yeah.
that.
me too.
Absolutely. And I think there's a great sense of relatability to these characters that makes them, that imperfection makes them relatable. One thing that we've loved about Pluribus is how it just imagines a world where humanity is finally at peace, but at the cost of individuality. Now, for all of you, what excited you most about exploring happiness as something potentially terrifying? Allison, we'll start with you.
Yes, this was a little bit challenging for me in a way. I mean, full disclosure, I worked for many years in youth violence intervention. I know that sounds like a crazy left turn, but in doing that work, I had to try so hard to communicate to young people about how connected we all are. I mean, just to sound cheesy for a moment, like about our shared humanity. What do we all have in common? Can we find a way to actually connect and live in peace with each other? And now presented with this incredible premise that Vince came up with, where this has happened to most of humanity now are connected and peaceful and have achieved what I would have thought of in the past as this ideal, and yet at this horrible cost, as you
Mhm.
say. And so I had to really kind of internally weigh the pros and cons and at least be honest with myself about what I saw as the benefits, even as I know we're rooting for Carol and that I would root for her individuality and my own and all of ours.
Yeah, I love that answer. I was going to say, much as I'm fascinated by the Mariana Trench or the dark side of the moon, having never been there, I'm interested to write about happiness. That's a subject I know very little about. So, yeah, that was part of it for me. What about for you, Gordon?
Oh, I mean, it is the challenge of it because it seems like it's very difficult. The others are. Sometimes I think of the others less as like people or or one big person as than like a mountain. It's like they're so primal because we're talking about this primal emotion of just happiness, and it's Carol versus happiness in a certain
Mhm.
way. Um, that keeps developing. When you're on one side, when you're on the other side, when do you feel like happiness is a block to you getting what you want? When is it the thing that you want the most, but you know that it's bad for you? All of those things are things that we get to explore. So it's like, I don't know, it's super fun. But it is quite a challenge to sort of keep things moving and break things down story-wise so that they're understandable to us, even when we're trying to work through it.
And when does consensus become scary?
Yeah.
When does it tip into something that actually feels threatening, even though it's being presented in a very nice way?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for taking the time chatting with us about this incredible show. You've all done such an incredible job. We absolutely love it, and we can't wait for more in a season 2. So
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Justin. Thank you, guys. This was fun.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Have a
Thank
good
you so
one.
much.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.